Now, the first concept for today, multiples. Who can tell me what multiples are? You can unmute yourself, you can speak. Someone to tell me what a multiple is and someone to tell me what a factor is.
Sir, multiples are like 2 multiplied by 2 is equal to 4. 4 is a multiple of 2.
Okay, good.
Like a 2 table only.
Okay, and Vamika, can you hear me now? Okay. So basically, guys, our first concept is multiples. Let's look at what the definition is and then let's understand it logically. He says the numbers that are obtained by multiplying the given number with a natural number are called multiples of a given number. Now, guys, natural numbers start from 1, 2, 3 and extend to infinity, right? They are not finite, they are infinite. This is a concept that you guys are pretty much aware of. Okay. Now, if I take the number 2, he says you have to multiply it by natural numbers. So we have to multiply starting with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and so on. So what are the numbers that we obtain, guys? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16.
Sir, that means multiples means a product.
No. Listen to me. I'll come to everything. I'll clear it. So basically, when any number is multiplied by another natural number, look, what are we multiplying it by? I took random natural numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. When I multiply it by numbers, what is the product that I get? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, etc. Right? Now, all these numbers are nothing but the multiples of 2. So what is the first observation that we draw? All the multiples of a number are always equal to the number or greater than the number. Because look, if I ask you guys, what are the multiples of 2? To put it in a very simple way, we are just discussing the table, correct? But the table over here, till now you guys have learned tables till 10 or 20 or 30 max. But basically multiples tend to infinity, right? Say 2 multiplied by 9,000 is 18,000, correct? 18,000 is also a multiple of 2, right? So that is what the definition is also trying to tell us. If I take a number and I multiply it by any natural number, I'm going to get an answer. I'm going to get a product. This number is a multiple of the number that we were talking about. That means all the multiples of a particular number are either equal to the number. Is 2 a multiple of 2? Yes, because 2 into 1 is equal to 2. What about any other number? Say 2 into 4 is 8. Is 8 a multiple of 2? Yes, because 2 into a natural number called 4 is giving us 8. That means multiples are either equal to the number or greater than the number itself. Is this logic clear, guys? For example, let me take a number 10. If I tell you, give me the multiples of 10, what are you supposed to imagine over here? You don't have to imagine tables.
Sir, can I tell?
Look, look, listen to me. I'm pretty sure all of you are understanding. But when I say multiples, how is the thought process that is to be there in your head? How are you supposed to imagine? When I say 10, if I put an arrow this way, that means what? Any number that is greater than 10 is a multiple of 10. So what are there are a lot of interesting and important concepts over here. Okay. So now, guys, what are the multiples of 10? If we start with the natural number set, we start with 1, 2, 3, etc. So what are the numbers we get? We get 10, 20, 30, 40, so on and so forth. So all these are multiples and the multiples are greater than or equal to the number, correct? Is this very clear? Now, the next topic that we study is called the factor. We're talking about factors of a number. Who can tell me what factors of a number are?
Sir, can I tell?
Someone tell me what factors are in your own words. I don't want a bookish definition.
Sir, factors. Can I tell an example to?
Yes, that's what I want. I don't want definitions. I want understanding.
Okay. If 2 into 4 is equal to 8, right? Then in this 2 and 4 are the factors of 8.
Beautiful. Perfect. Anyone with any other definitions or any other ideas? This is correct. Anyone with anything else in different words or something?
Sir, one more thing I would like to speak that if someone asks us to tell the factors of 8, we have to find all the possible ways to multiply it or to get it as a product.
Correct. Very good. Very good. Very good. Good point. Anyone else with anything else? So now, guys, look. When I took a number 10 and I drew an arrow, that means all the numbers were greater than 10. So we're talking about 10, 20, 30, 40, 120, 160, any random numbers. All these are what? Multiples of 10. Now, if I talk about factors, I have to imagine the left hand. That means numbers that are lesser than the number that we are talking about. But it is not just any number that is lesser than it. The number, when I divide 10 by that particular number, the remainder that I get, you understand what remainder is, right? Division. The remainder that I get should be equal to 0. That means the number should be perfectly divisible. So guys, if I start with 1, if I divide 10 by 1, 1 to 10 is 10, so the remainder is 0. Therefore, 1 is a factor of 10. Clear? If I take the number 2, if I divide 10 by 2, I get the remainder 0. That means 2 is a factor of 10. If I take 3, when I divide 10 by 3, I get a remainder 1. But condition, we have to get a remainder 0. Right? Therefore, we cannot take 3 as a factor. Is that clear? It's not a factor because when we divide 10 by 3, we get a remainder 1.
Sir, can I, is this only possible for 10 or any other two?
Neha, can you repeat?
Sir, is this only possible for 10 or any other?
No, I'm taking an example. I will extend the concept, don't worry. Okay. So is 3 a factor of 10?
You have told here, right? Remainder 0 means we can find it as a factor of that.
Listen to me. I haven't completed yet. Look, 1 was a factor of 10. 2 was a factor of 10. Why are they factors? Because when I divide 10 by 1, 1 into 10 is 10, the remainder is 0, correct? When I divide 10 by 2, 2 5s are 10, the remainder is again 0, right? Any number which when divided gives a remainder 0 becomes a factor. But say guys, if I divide 10 by 3, 3 3s are 9, what is the remainder? 1. Therefore, 3 is not a factor of 10. What if I take 4? If I take 4 and divide by 10, 4 2s are 8. I'm getting a remainder 2. Again, 4 is not a factor. If I take 5, 10 divided by 5 gives a remainder 2. That means 5 is a factor of 10. Is that clear? Now guys, there is something very interesting over here. Can 6, 7, 8, 9 be factors of 10? 10 divided by 6 is going to give me a remainder 4, right? 10 divided by 7 gives me a remainder 3. 10 divided by 6 is giving me a remainder 4. 10 divided by 7 gives me a remainder 3. 10 divided by 8 gives me a remainder 2. What is the condition? We have to get the remainder 0. That means, what is 5 guys? Isn't 5 exactly half of 10? Is it or isn't it?
Yes sir, it is half of 10.
That means what is the observation? Any number more than half the number that we are finding cannot be a factor. Except for the number itself. What is 10 divided by 10 guys? 10 into 1 is 10, it gives a remainder 0, correct?
Yeah.
That means 10 is also a factor of the number. That means 1 is a factor of any number and the number itself is a factor.
Factor of itself.
Is this very clear guys? Now, in order to clarify Neha's doubt, whether it was just 10, let's take another number. Let's take 15. Now Neha, I want you to answer. Is 1 a factor of 15, Neha? Unmute yourself.
Yes.
Okay. Why is it a factor of 15? I want reasons.
Because 1 is factor of every number.
But okay, what about 2? Is 2 a factor of 15?
Yeah.
Why? How is 2 a factor of
No,
15?
sir. No, sir. Sorry.
Yes.
No.
When I divide 15 by 2, 2 sevens are 14. What is the remainder? 1, right?
1.
But what is the condition? It should be perfectly divisible.
Yeah,
When
yeah.
is the number perfectly divisible? When the remainder is
When
0.
the remainder is 0.
Correct. I think 2 is not a factor of 15. Very clear? Clear
Yes,
to
sir.
everyone? Not just Nia. I'm just taking her name and explaining. The classes for everyone, guys.
Yes, sir.
Good. But why is it a factor of 15?
Sir, 3 5 are 15.
Good. That means the remainder when I divide 15 by 3 is 0. That's the reason 3 is a factor. Similarly, 4 is not, 5 is a factor. Is 6 a factor? No. Is 7 a factor? No. Now, 15, what is the exact half of 15, guys? 7.5, right? But we are talking about natural numbers. So it is either 7 or 8. So any number after 7 or 8 cannot be a factor of 15. Similarly, how 6, 7, 8 and 9 could not be factors of the number. So what is the last factor of 15 that we get? The number itself. That is, the largest factor of the number is the number itself. Is this very clear, guys? Is the idea of factors and multiples clear?
Yes, sir.
So the number of multiples that a number has are infinite, but the number of factors a number has are finite. Is this very clear? How many factors does 15 have? 1, 2, 3, 4. It has only 4 factors. But how many multiples does 15 have? 15 ones are 15, 15 twos are 30, 15 threes are 45, 15 fours are 60. It goes on, goes on, goes on. Why? Because the set of natural numbers is also infinite. Is this very clear, guys? Crystal clear? Now, the next slide says factors. Now, as someone pointed out, if I take a number 8, 8 is nothing else but 2 into 4. That means 2 is a factor of 4. Sorry, 2 is a factor of 8 and 4 is also a factor of 8. But even 1 is a factor of 8. Even 8 is a factor of 8. Now, is this clear? The example, look at the example. It says 2 into 3 equal to 6, where 2 and 3 are factors of the product 6, obviously. And guys, the factors are always less than or exactly equal to the number, correct? Is this concept very clear? I wanted to explain both factors and multiples together. This?
Yes, sir. Can you please explain that?
Pardon?
Can you please explain it again?
Yeah. So I explained factors and multiples together. Now, what does he say? He says if I take a number 6, how can I write the number 6 as? I can write it as 1 into 6, correct? Or I can write it as 2 into 3. 1 into 6 is also giving me 6. 2 into 3 is also giving me 6. So what are the factors of 6? 1, 2, 3 and 6. The same thing can be done how I explained it earlier. If I take 6, factors means all the numbers that are less than the given number, correct? Is 1 a factor of 6? Yes, because the remainder is 0. Is 2 a factor of 6? Yes. Is 3 a factor of 6? Yes. Is 4 a factor of 6? No, because the remainder is 2. Is 5 a factor of 6? No, because the remainder is 1. Is the number itself a factor of itself? Yes, it is. So what are the factors? 1, 2, 3 and 6. Is this very clear?
Yes, sir. This is an easy method to understand.
Which one?
You told no, dividing.
Pardon?
You told no, the dividing method to find the factors.
Correct. Because I wanted you to relate. If I give a number, all the numbers greater than this, which are these are called multiples. All the numbers that are lesser and are perfectly divisible are called factors. I want you to understand both of them together. Okay. Now, there are some important key points over here, guys. Point number 1 says, we denote the set of all the factors of n. N stands basically for the number as f of n. That means if I ask you what are the factors of 12, guys, so you just write it like this. You write f of 12 or you write f of 12. It is just representation. Okay. So what are the factors? We get 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. Guys, can 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 be the factors? 6 is exactly half of 12, correct? If I take any number greater than that, I am going to get a remainder. Can any number greater than 6 except the number itself be a factor of 12? Yes or no? What I'm asking is, can 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 be factors of 12? No. Right? Do you get the logic over here? The number that is exactly half
Yes,
the number is a factor. Any number greater than that cannot be a factor except for the number itself. What is the last factor? 12. 12 is a factor of 12. Correct? Is this clear, guys?
No, so still this logic is not clear for me. Actually, yes, please.
Okay, it's okay. I will explain. Don't worry. What is the doubt? Look, I am just trying to get new ideas or patterns into your head. Look, if I take 12, okay, and if I have to write the factors, 1 is a factor, 2 is a factor, 3 is a factor, 4 is a factor, 5 is not a factor, 6 is a factor. Now, guys, let me do all of them till 12. Let me take 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Does 7 divide 12 exactly? No, it cannot be a factor. Does 8 divide 12? No. Does 9 divide 12? No. Does 10 divide 12? No. Does 11 divide 12? No. But 12 divides 12. So what is the last factor other than the number that we got? Exactly half of the number, right? If it was a natural number. Is the doubt now clear? I'm not sure if it was Yashika or Neha who asked the doubt. Is the logic now clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, what is the second key? First key point is clear. What is the second key point? It says the smallest factor of any number is 1 and the largest is the number itself. This is something we just proved. If I took 12, it started with 1. I told you 1 is a factor of every number, correct? What was the largest factor? It was the number itself. Is this very clear? That's the same point that he has written over here. No rocket science, nothing new. Now, 1 is a factor of every number and is the smallest factor. This is again what we just saw. We took example say 6. We took an example of 10. We took an example of 12. All of them have the common factor as 1, right? So that is what the point is saying. 1 is a factor of every number and is the smallest factor. Very clear? Chalo. Next one. Every number is a factor of itself and is largest factor. What is he talking about? Forget about all this English, guys. If I'm taking 12, what is the largest factor of 12? It was the number itself, right? That is what he's talking about. What if I say 102? Guys, can you tell me what is the largest factor of 102?
102 itself.
Obviously. It is very clear because 102 perfectly divides 102. Now, my question to you is, can 53 be a factor of 102? This is a logic I just explained. Can 53 be a factor of 102? Yes or no? Type in. Jaldi.
No, sir.
Okay. Now, can I have the reason why? Not interested in the answer. Interested in the reason.
I think because it is half more than the number.
Perfect. Even Pragya gave the right answer. Good. So what is the exact half of 102, guys? It is 51, correct? 51 is a factor of 102. Why? Because it perfectly divides 102. Any number greater than 51 is not a factor of 102 except the number itself. Is the logic now clear, guys? Very clear. And the last, yes, and the last point says what I just repeated. The factor of a number is less than or equal to the number. And obviously, factors of 12 are obviously numbers that were less than 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 12. All of them are less than or equal to 12.